Okay, let's first take I don't know what book Caps is. Caps one of the books. So this is Cap Part 1. Sync audio, sync video. I want to put this shit through the grinder real quick with the Cap 1 tapes. Okay. I'm at Cap in high school. I was in a little place called the Learning Adjustment Room. That's what we used to call detention. So, anyhow, I was sitting in the bar. I let a teacher know I wasn't going to be in class. I was going to go out and get lunch. But I figured I'd let him know that I was going to skip his class. So I got a detention for that, and I got a detention for having an unlit cigarette in my mouth. See, when I used to smoke cigarettes, I'd go into the bathroom with an unlit cigarette just to let everybody know I was going to smoke it, but I wouldn't light that bad boy until I was in cover. So, yeah, I got caught doing that, and I forget there was a third thing. Like I said, I'm doing this on the fly. So anyway, I'm in the learning adjustment room. Now, I'm sitting right about there. I didn't work out the entire layout of the classroom, but there might have been 5 rows. I'm not sure. But I was like in the second to the right one, 3 or 4 seats back. It was 1 seat from the very back. So anyway, I want you guys to remember that all of your memories are stacked with multiple meanings. Okay, crotch shot. We don't need that one yet. Okay. So, your dreams. Now, the Cap met me in many a dream. She still does every now and then. Ooh, a little bit of sadness there for some. What the fuck? Sadness? Yeah, the Cap. The Cap's going to be the hard part of this book. So anyway, this is Cap 1. I'm sitting right about there, and Cap's sitting right up there, 1 row over. She's in the front seat. And she's turning this way towards the teacher's desk. We're just going to put a T there for the teacher, but he's not a teacher. He's just running the law room. But he did, he was the coach of the baseball team, and he told me I'd probably be good on the baseball team if I got a haircut. I said to him, a haircut? I ain't getting no fucking haircut to play baseball. So anyway, what was his name? Mr. Smalls. It was Mr. Smalls, but this dude was fucking big, man. He was muscular. So anyway, he's talking to the Cap and the rest of the class. Yeah, it's all these people here are looking over at him. Now, as you can see, I have a clear shot of Cap in my eyesight. And all of a sudden, I look at this girl and the Cap. Woo, I kind of thought she was hot. I was like, who is this girl? And she came in, but she didn't sit next to me and there. So I'm like, whatever. All of a sudden, she's wearing a skirt, and she's leaning in my directions, and all of a sudden, I see a crotch shot. I'm like, oh, man, I really want to look at that, but, I'm trying to be a nice guy. I don't want to sneak a peek at something she doesn't want to show me. But she kept those legs open, and she spread them. And I'm not a stupid guy. I kind of seeing a girl giving me a crotch shot and spreading her legs. I'm thinking she wants to fuck. So I run it by a couple people I know. One of these people is Karen P. She rides my school bus. And she tells me she's in the Cap's homeroom, and the Cap is a whore. Yeah, but she talks about sucking big cocks in homeroom. So, anyhow, okay, that's the intro to the beginning of the Cap. Okay, this hot girl, okay, Karen told me she's a whore. Now, I don't know why girls tell guys that another girl's a whore, because the guy's gonna be like, cool. And I was kind of like, cool, but, anyway, she was going out with this dude, Zebra. So to make a long story short, I forget exactly. I think it was New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve would be, back then, it would be 87, 88. And he's going out with this broad that some people call the whore, but she liked to suck big cock. Anyhow, they get in a fight at this party they're at. Do I got a booze bottle here? Yeah, they're probably drinking a little booze. And he gets in a fight with the Cap. I've been in fights with the Cap. I know how that shit goes. So anyway, they're drinking, and he's at a party, and he drives himself into a fucking telephone pole. Now, this was a big deal in school because there were no skid marks. So a bunch of people thought, what the fuck? They got in a fight. He hit a telephone pole on the way home. We kind of think he killed himself. Oh, springboarding off of that. His parents definitely thought the fucking KAP killed him. Well, she didn't kill him, but she hurt their kid enough that he killed himself. So they didn't like the KAP. And the KAP, later on, when I started going out with her, told me about the wedding, but I'll unpack that shit and bring it to you later. So anyway, Zebro dies. Okay. Yeah, a couple months later, I think it was Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Okay, yeah, Mad came into our college, our high school and gave a presentation about being mad. And they ran this tape called Flowers on the Locker, and it was pretty fucking dramatic. And what they didn't know, what the fuck? Somebody didn't run this shit by an official? They started talking about Flowers on the Locker. Well, that hit home for the KAP, because the Zebro had driven into a phone pole. So, the Flowers on the Locker, blah, blah, blah. Made her run out of the auditorium crying. Oh my God, I felt bad for the girl because I remembered back to the law and her giving me a crotch shot and people telling me she was a whore, but I kind of knew the backstory about Zebro. Yeah, but I felt bad for this girl because, like I said, she was kind of pretty. I'm a nice guy. So anyhow, I'm like, fuck, can I run into my buddy Cheese? Now, Cheese is going to be a character in this story, and he has a kept story or two for himself. But anyway, he's a long-haired son of a bitch. He listens to the heavy metal, but he's also a little bit into the witchcraft, satanic shit. I don't know. Kid's fucked up. So anyway, we and him are hashing it over. I feel bad for her. Cheese says to me, shit, man, I saw her crying down the hall, and I asked her if she wanted a beer. Drink up, Cheese says. I'm like, fuck, man, you're a dude, or a dick, not a dude. You're a dick, but I kind of laughed because it was funny. Do you want a beer? I didn't really know the girl. So anyway, right before high school ends, okay, I brought a videotape camera in to tape my last day of school. Now, back then, that was kind of a big deal. Not my last day of school. I hung out. Well, Tano drove me to school. Me and the dick skipped lunch. Before I skipped lunch, I went out and smoked a pipe with the sack hammer. He was introduced at one of those parties. And Sweet Pete. Sweet Pete needs an introduction really quick. I got a lot of stories about Pete, but they're not central to the KAP story at this particular time. So I'm videotaping the last day of school. Me and Rick at the end of fucking school. Now, Rick started talking to KAP. Rick was a Christian. He used to smoke the weed with me, but the dick, I'm sorry, not the Rick, he didn't smoke weed anymore, but somehow he was hanging out with KAP. So me and Rick are walking out, and I'm videotaping myself, my last day of school, and me and the Rickster run into the KAP. And the KAP, me and Rick and her friend, we'll just call her KD. Decide to go out and get some lunch. I didn't draw a whole fucking pizza box. I ain't playing this shit too good. Okay, so we went out for pizza. Well, we're getting pizza. I run into Pringles. Now I got to bring up Pringles because he is going to be a part of the story. So anyway, we run into Pringles. Me and Pringles were kind of on the outs. What the fuck? How the fuck are we supposed to keep this shit straight? Well, pay attention, boys and girls. I'll bring people up back again. And now and then, back and forth. What the fuck to remind you of shit? Because it is kind of complicated. So me and the Dick and the KAP and the KD go to get pizza. And we're hanging out. We run into Pringles. So anyway, I'm videotaping. And she goes up on this slide. And this hot girl, she's being really nice to me. And she was holding flowers. Oddly, flowers on the locker. But she's kind of a hippie chick. She's hot. I'm thinking, oh my God, me and this girl, we could hook up. So anyway, she's on a slide. Gave me a flower. She had a bunch of daisies. It's not like she gave me her only flower, but she gave me a flower, and then we're hanging out, and I'm like, oh, this is all cool. This girl's hot, and I'm kind of like sad because it's the last day of school, but anyway, we're at 10 minutes. So she's waving on that little slide before she slides down and goes, no, me. The way she said it, it hit a soft spot in my heart. Oh, yeah. And then I think it was the Grundyke. I had a motorcycle. I think it was Grundyke. No, maybe it was Eberhard. Well, any of them, one of them had a bike, and the KAP went off for a ride with him. So I'm kind of talking to Dick about the KAP, and that girl's kind of hot. How'd you know her? And the Dick gives me a little bit of the background about how he started hanging out with the KAP. So, quickly, this is KAP 1. Now, I've told you about KAP before, and you kind of know she becomes my girlfriend, and you kind of know she broke up with me, and then she was maybe fucking Craig before, maybe not. I don't know, it really doesn't make a difference at this point. Shoo, I want to step this one back, get a little bit of positive energy working on my channel again, so everybody doesn't get bogged down in the details of the mind fuck. We're going to call that the American Babylon tapes. Because I kind of now feel that's become a part of the story. What the fuck? Does this story ever end? Oh, it's a fucking book within a book within a fucking book. It's stacked with meaning. And these memories I had to unpack. Sometimes through my dreams. Sometimes just do a little bit of running it through the echo. Play the grinder. By myself, if I'm not correct. Yeah, it's Judas Priest 4. Okay. So I run this shit through the grinder. But it was usually just me and Bond. We didn't have Heisenberg back. Really on board back then. There's a little part of Heisenberg, but what the fuck? This is complicated. Heisenberg was, let's just say, he got dumbed down a little bit by the booze and other stuff Bond was making him drink. So, Echo, shut up. So, anyhow, that is KAP 1. Let's see. Craig, RGH, Mad Book 4. Okay, KAP is now introduced Book 4. I'm going to get to the mass tape, I think, next. Maybe throw a goob tape up. And get this back to the main fucking focus of all the mind fuck. And that's my life story. What the fuck? Yep. So let's not get bogged down in the whole American Babylon shit I showed you, because I'll unpack that even further, perhaps, towards the end of the book or somewhere along the line. I haven't figured it out. Like I said, this is all a working, let me write it down for you people. This is a working rough draft. So now I'm fucking writing my script as I record to remind you people of all the shit that's going on. So, whoa, that was fun. Oh, this reminds me of a Kodak story, but I don't want to get into it. Stepping back, priest, cow, mind. How connected. I'm starting to remember a little bit better. And Z to ZYX, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, ABC, CBA.